Welcome. Have you ever gotten that feeling that you're just repeating the same patterns? Almost like you're stuck in a loop you can't quite see? Well, today, we're going to make that loop visible. We're going to learn how to map your inner world and see the true shape of your life's journey, which, and this is the important part, gives you the power to change its course. Let's start with a pretty radical idea from an astrophysicist, Kozyrev. He basically proposed that time isn't just some river we're all floating down, it's more like clay. Our focus, our consciousness itself, can actually press into it and leave an impression. That's the powerful concept we're really going to unpack today. So let me just ask you this. What if you could make the invisible visible? What if you could look at a single chart and see the entire rhythm of your life? The moments you soared and, the cycles you keep repeating. That is exactly what we are going to build, right here, right now. Now, to do that, first, we need to get our heads around the fact that we're all living by two different clocks at the same time. This is the foundation, the key idea that makes everything else possible. Okay, so on one hand, you've got external time. That's simple. It's the clock on the wall, the calendar on your phone. It's rigid, it's physical, and it's the same for everybody. But then there's internal time, your psychological clock. This is all about how time feels. You know how an hour can fly by in what feels like minutes, or a single minute can stretch out into an eternity? That internal clock is the one we want to map. And this leads us to this really crucial concept called time density. It's not about the number of seconds in an hour, it's all about the quality of life you can pack into those seconds. Think of it as the richness of a moment, and it's all determined by how much focused energy you're putting in. A really great way to picture this is as mental pressure, right? When you're deeply focused, totally engaged, that pressure builds, and the moment becomes dense with meaning, with energy, with potential. And we all know these two states so well. High-density time is that incredible feeling of being in the zone, that flow state. Ideas just come to you, decisions are sharp. Low-density time? That's the fog of fatigue, right? When you're just scrolling endlessly, feeling distracted, and you can't make a simple choice to save your life. So, the big bad guy, the enemy of that high-density time, is mental entropy. Just like a room naturally gets messy if you don't clean it, our minds tend toward chaos. This internal noise scatters your focus and just drains your energy. Learning to manage this entropy is the absolute key to shaping your time. So, okay, that's all the theory. Now, let's get practical. How do we take these abstract feelings of flow and chaos and turn them into something we can actually see and work with? The brilliant psychologist Carl Jung kind of gave us a clue. He noticed that our lives don't really move in a straight line. We often spiral back to similar challenges, similar themes, but hopefully each time with a little bit more wisdom. And this image here just nails that idea. Your life isn't a flat circle, it's a spiral staircase. You might revisit the same floor, the same life lesson, but you're looking at it from a higher vantage point. Just seeing this pattern is the very first step toward consciously shaping it. And here it is. This is the tool. It's called the spiral of psychic time. I want you to think of it like a 3D map of your inner world. It charts your journey across three really critical dimensions that we're about to explore: your timeline, your focus, and your emotions. All right, I mean it. Go grab a piece of paper and a pen. It's time to move from theory to practice. I'm going to walk you through step by step how to create your very first personal life chart. Let's start with the absolute basics. Step 1 is super simple. You're just going to draw the container for your map. Just 3 lines, creating a kind of 3D space on your page. This is the foundational framework. Now let's define what these axes mean. First, that horizontal line, the x-axis. That's just time. Simple. It's your life's chronology, from the past to the present. Next, the axis that seems to go into the page. That's our key concept, time density. This measures your focus, from totally distracted to being in a state of deep flow. And finally, that vertical z-axis tracks your emotional intensity, from moments of total calm to peaks of passion or crisis. Okay, with your axis drawn, now you start to populate the map. Think back through your life. Where were the major turning points? A graduation, a new job, a tough loss, a moment of sudden insight? Plot them as dots within this 3D space you've created. And finally, this is the moment of revelation. Take your pen and draw a single, continuous line that connects all these points in chronological order. Then step back and just look at it. You've just made your inner, subjective experience visible. You've drawn the unique shape of your life. So you've created the map. Now for the most valuable part, learning how to actually read it. Let's dig into what these patterns are telling you and how to turn this drawing into a seriously powerful tool for self-understanding.
Reading your spiral is kind of like learning a new language. The slope of the line, that shows your momentum. A steep rise means you're gathering energy. The amplitude, or how wide the swings are, that reflects the intensity of an experience. But most importantly, look for the loops. These are your recurring life themes, the places you keep circling back to again and again. This slide just perfectly illustrates the goal here. On the left, you see a chaotic, high-entropy rhythm. It's all over the place. On the right, you see a smooth, focused, low-entropy rhythm. Your goal, by understanding your map, is to consciously work to move your own inner state from the left to the right. I want you to think of your chart as a doctor's diagnostic tool, but for your psyche. Those loops show you exactly where you're stuck, repeating a pattern. A sharp drop in the line, that shows you a moment or a situation where your energy and focus just collapsed. These are the precise points to investigate for your own personal growth. And hey, this is not a one-time thing. You can actually train this temporal sense every day. Try keeping a visual diary, just marking your focus level each hour on a line. Or create an insight map to see where and when your best ideas show up. Even something as simple as drawing your breath can help you regulate your inner rhythm. We started with this big idea that consciousness can affect time, and now we've turned that abstract philosophy into a practical tool. You've learned how to see the invisible landscape of your own life. So the final question, it isn't from me, it's for you. Now that you can see your time, how will you choose to shape it?